part of this important global Building Bridges Conference on Best Practices in Character Education. Second, I would like to thank my good friend and esteemed colleague, Man Rentoy, for the opportunity to offer special congratulations to PAREF Southridge School for being named the Philippines' latest school of character. Two Southridge leaders, Fernando Cruz and Muntinlupa, played key roles in the leadership of the effort to make this award possible. Southridge is the 7th school in the Philippines to receive this distinguished School of Character designation from the Center for the 4th and 5th R's Asia. This award, as you may know, is based on documented evidence of implementing the 11 principles of effective character education, a conceptual framework which is used by thousands of schools around the world. A team of 8 accreditors evaluated the evidence submitted by Southridge that they were implementing these 11 principles. They also spent a full day interviewing staff, students, parents, teachers, and so on as to how they went about using the 11 principles in their daily work at the school. I had an opportunity to read Southridge's application where they submitted the evidence of their work. And in all my years of evaluating similar applications for the School of Character Award, I have not read a more persuasive presentation. I also had the opportunity to read the excellent report submitted by the external team of accreditors, and I greatly admired the careful, thoroughgoing evaluation they did of the submission by Southridge. I was delighted also to learn that Man Rentoy and his Center for 4th and 5th R's Asia will be partnering with Southridge to champion character education throughout the entire region. That's wonderful news. In closing, I would like to quote the Catholic philosopher Jacques Maritain, who, from my perspective, provides what may be the best, most comprehensive definition of character education. And Maritain's vision seems to me to express the Opus Dei approach to the formation of the whole human being. He wrote, "The aim of education is to guide young persons in the process through which they shape themselves as human persons, armed with knowledge, strength of judgment, and moral virtues, while at the same time conveying to them the spiritual heritage of the nation and the civilization in which they themselves are involved." What work could be more important for the full development of the individual student or for the flourishing of all humankind? May God bless and be with you in your continued participation in that noble vision. Thank you. Greetings from snowy central New York, where the temperature this morning was 0 degrees Fahrenheit. First, I would like to congratulate all of you for being part of this important global Building Bridges Conference on Best Practices in Character Education. Second, I would like to thank my good friend and esteemed colleague, Man Rentoy, for the opportunity to offer special congratulations to PAREF Southridge School for being named the Philippines' latest school of character. Two Southridge leaders, Fernando Cruz and Muntinlupa, played key roles in the leadership of the effort to make this award possible. Southridge is the 7th school in the Philippines to receive this distinguished School of Character designation from the Center for the Fourth and Fifth R's Asia. This award, as you may know, is based on documented evidence of implementing the 11 principles of effective character education, a conceptual framework which is used by thousands of schools around the world. A team of 8 accreditors evaluated the evidence submitted by Southridge that they were implementing these 11 principles. They also spent a full day interviewing staff, students, parents, teachers, and so on, as to how they went about using the 11 principles in their daily work at the school. I had an opportunity to read Southridge's application where they submitted the evidence of their work. And in all my years of evaluating similar applications for the School of Character Award, I have not read a more persuasive presentation. I also had the opportunity to read the excellent report submitted by the external team of accreditors, and I greatly admired the careful, thoroughgoing evaluation they did of the submission by Southridge. I was delighted also to learn that man Renzoy and his Center for Fourth and Fifth R's Asia will be partnering with Southridge to champion character education throughout the entire region. That's wonderful news. In closing, I would like to quote the Catholic philosopher Jacques Maritain, who, from my perspective, provides what may be the best, most comprehensive definition of character education. And Maritain's vision seems to me to express the Opus Dei approach to the formation of the whole human being. He wrote, "The aim of education is to guide young persons in the process through which they shape themselves as human persons, armed with knowledge, strength of judgment, and moral virtues, while at the same time conveying to them the spiritual heritage of the nation and the civilization in which they themselves are involved." What work could be more important for the full development of the individual student or for the flourishing of all humankind? May God bless and be with you in your continued participation in that noble vision. Thank you. Greetings from snowy central New York, where the temperature this morning was 0 degrees Fahrenheit. First, I would like to congratulate all of you for being part of this important global Building Bridges Conference on Best Practices in Character Education. Second, I would like to thank my good friend and esteemed colleague, Man Rentoy, for the opportunity to offer special congratulations to PAREF Southridge School for being named the Philippines' latest school of character. 2 Southridge leaders, Fernando Cruz and Muntinlupa Salamat, played key roles in the leadership of the effort to make this award possible. Southridge is the 7th school in the Philippines to receive this distinguished School of Character designation from the Center for the Fourth and Fifth R's Asia. This award, as you may know, is based on documented evidence of implementing the 11 principles of effective character education, a conceptual framework which is used by thousands of schools around the world. A team of 8 accreditors evaluated the evidence submitted by Southridge that they were implementing these 11 principles. They also spent a full day interviewing staff, students, parents, teachers, and so on, as to how they went about using the 11 principles in their daily work at the school. I had an opportunity to read Southridge's application where they submitted the evidence of their work. And in all my years of evaluating similar applications for the School of Character Award, I have not read a more persuasive presentation. I also had the opportunity to read the excellent report submitted by
Okay, there's seats here. Mhm. All right, good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to our get together here today at PAREF Southridge. We welcome all our foreign guests from many countries. I think we have Australia, Kenya, Cebu, that's your Iloilo, Taiwan, Singapore, Bacolod. So from all over, welcome to our Building Bridges Conference, pre-conference event this afternoon. Okay, so today we have a very special guest. He came all the way from Rome just to be with us, and he is representing the father. He is representing Don Fernando here with us in the Philippines, and we're so blessed. We're so proud to have Father Esteban de Sas, who will give us a get together. So he's from the office of the Prefect of Studies of the General Council in Rome. So, Father, and and together with you, Father, will be our President and Chairman, Mr. Moran. You can say in the middle, Father. Mr. Danny Moran, our President and Chairman of PAREF. Mr. Titoy, um, who's be with us also, yes, Chairman of Board of Trustees of PAREF Southridge, and Miss Millet Lorenzo here. She's a chairman of Woodrow's board. Okay, so it's an yeah get together. So we will have our questions later on, but now we'd like to listen to Father Esteban tell us something about why he's here.
Well, good afternoon, everyone. Thank you very much. Well, it's incredible. It's my first time here in Philippines, and just after a few hours, it's amazing how welcoming, kind people of Philippines. I think that part of my heart will remain here. No, we because I am with Juan Pablo and Aitor. I think that they are with other people. We went to Woodrose this morning, and it's beautiful. All the little girls, some of them sang incredible, great talent you have in Woodrose. No, thank you very much. Thank you very much. I am well, as you said, I came yesterday from Rome. I arrived. I hope the jet lag. And first of all, I apologize for my English. Is well, I understand, but I need to practice more. And well, tomorrow I will. I have a message for the father, but I don't want to anticipate anything because let's wait for tomorrow. But well, what I can anticipate is that the father, he's doing very well. It's amazing how he spreads peace. He spreads also joy. We are in this jubilee year in the whole world. The hope is our the message of the jubilee. And I think that the father is, well, he transmits, he conveys hope. And, and it's because he's a man of faith. Hmm? And also, well, yes, on Monday, I went to his office. I asked him to, well, the benediction to, which is also a benediction to you. and, and he told me, well, speak about the importance of the educational endeavor, the task, and also spread hope, happy. Joy. That's important, an important thing. Well, that will be my first message. I would like also to know about you and about your projects. I came here also to learn from you. I am very glad to be with you, and that's it. Well, tomorrow I will have also a, a speech about the identity of this school. So I don't want to anticipate like a lecture right now. But if you want, you can ask anything what you want. Thank you very much.
Right. Thank you, Father. Does anyone want to ask or share any stories to Father that most likely will reach Don Fernando? Any stories about PAREF schools or any of the technical schools that we have here, or from those from other countries? Is Delia here? Mhm. Or Chippy? Chippy? Uh, Oh, the people. Okay.
Trent. Okay. Hi, Father. My name's Trent Thomas. I'm the headmaster of Listerfield Lake College in Melbourne, Australia. I'm here with Matthew Alders, who's the headmaster of Redfield College in Sydney, and James Ramos from Woolamai College, also in Sydney. So 3 school administrators who have come, and also our heart has been adapted to the Philippines, and we're very grateful for this conference. And thank you to everyone who's put in so much work. I guess our question, or my question to you, is how do we help our students become souls of prayer? And you talked about the year of hope. If you've got any advice or insights on that, I'd be very much appreciated to hear your thoughts.
Great question. Tomorrow I will address some ideas about that.
There's a lot going to happen tomorrow.
Yes, a lot of things happen tomorrow. But I will say at first, Christianism is an encounter with a person, with someone, Jesus Christ. So all effort addresses to this encounter. The, the thing is to facilitate the encounter with Christ. For example, the sacraments, also the instruction, religion, because Jesus, he became flesh, a word, and also is something that we have rationally, we have to understand. Facilitating the encounter, and also preparing fathers. We were talking with, some people here from Cebu, and all the parents. You know that last week someone asked me, Esteban, sorry because of the personal memory. Someone asked him, why did you become a priest? It's a beautiful question. Well, I like it. I became a priest 2 years ago. Yes, I have lived in Rome for 6 years. I am from Costa Rica, half Costa Rica, half Spanish, from Spain. But well, I was born in Costa Rica, raised up there, and I moved to Rome in 2019. Well, and the first answer was, well, because I think that God called me. But then I was thinking, well, it's not just because of that. I think that mainly because of my parents. Mm? You know that I have 2 sisters, beautiful sisters. Both of them are married, and my parents, I love them a lot. And I remember how, for example, every time that we start a 1 hour trip driving, we always pray the Holy Rosary. And we begin the trip with a prayer of San Jose Maria. And as a child, as a boy, I remembered this, and little by little, like a seed, it it grows. For example, I also remember both of my parents are Opus Dei members, and they don't know that they am talking about them. but I think that it was because of them. I remember my father every Saturday or Sunday afternoon, um, well, doing his prayer in the garden. We had a garden. I, as a boy, was playing close to him, but I knew that he was talking with God. And for me, little by little, I think that um, if school helps parents to create those kind of atmosphere in families, it will help the students to in the students to create a souls, as you said. Mhm. So, of course, that's why parents are very important, because it is the right place where the faith can grow. And well, tomorrow we will talk about a little bit more about this, but it's important and it is beautiful. Here in Southridge, I saw the paintings in the chapel. So one of you explained me that the first painting is about Jesus playing, and then Jesus working, also studying, working, and praying. Well, that's beautiful. No, well, it feels here in PAREF school that you have also in Woodrose with the Virgin everywhere. That's beautiful. All the possibilities to facilitate the encounter with Jesus will help them. Mhm. Okay. Another question, or if you want to share an anecdote or something.
Okay, I'll just tell you a little bit about the schools. The father visited our school, came to Australia 18 months ago, I think it was, in August 2023. And he came to Melbourne. In Melbourne, our school just started. It was 1 year old. We've got 130 students this year. And Matt's school and James's school have been around for a lot longer. But when he came and visited our school, he had lunch and it was a little bit raining. And before he went into every classroom and the chapel, he used to wipe his feet. And I remember the counselor at the time said to me, look at the little things that he takes care of. And that was a good reminder for our school to take care of the little things. So if you keep praying for us, that would be really good.
Hi, Father, again. I'm Emilu from Cebu. This is the Cebu contingent. There's also another one there at the back, no? So I just want to say siguro 2 to 3 stories, no? The first one is we recently had the first uh well, preparation for First Holy Communion for the grade 2 students, no? And before that, they had their first confession. And part of the preparation is for the parents to help them prepare for first confession, no? But there was one mom who had to ask her daughter, because we also invited the parents to go for confession with their daughters on their first confession, no? But there was one mom who asked her daughter how to go for confession. Okay. So, and then there was, it's so nice, it's so moving actually to see the kids when they're young, they hold their copies of their sins, no? And they go to the confessional skipping, happy, no? And then when they go out of the confessional, like they're jumping with joy, no? But as they grow older, Father, parang the joy, we don't know where the joy goes. Like there was but for example, there's an alumna now who's helping us give classes on, for example, sexuality or purity for our students, no? But her story is also incredible because she used to study in the top science school in the country, but she decided to go to South Crest because it's more accessible to her house, no, for her, no. And she told us she was in South Crest for 3 years, but actually it's just 2.5 because on her third year last year she fell into depression, no, so severe that she could not attend classes anymore, no. So actually we were thinking, how do we help her, because we knew she was smart, intelligent, she could hack all the academic requirements, no. But um but before that, she was telling us, I used to be an atheist. I was even studying on how to prove that God does not exist. No, um, and then so we asked her, so what made you change? No, and then she said, I think it's the Hail Marys of my mentor. No, so her mentor is Janice Aiko. She's a cooperator. No, she also teaches religion in school. No, so this mentor, when she saw the need of her mentee, the student, would pray many Hail Marys, even I think she prayed mga 1,000 not Hail Marys, rosaries, no, for her mentee, no. So according to this mentee, she just felt a surge of desire to know more about God, to love God, so much so that now she's like, sometimes I feel like she's more she's more daring, no, like she really wants to tell our students. She's been helping us out because actually she stays in the States, but she's vacationing now in Cebu, no. And then she was telling us that when she started dating, no, the first question that she told the guy who was courting her was, uh, uh, I want to, no, not question. I want to date for marriage. So she's that type. She's only 25 years old. She has 2 kids. No, so please pray for her. Her name is also Aiko. But Father, it's more. My question is, from when they're young, they're like angels. No, very happy with all the formation. They welcome it. But as they grow older, parang the sheen of the joy gets to disappear. So how do we sustain that joy, Father?
Well, first of all, I think that every goodness that has been planted in a heart bear fruit. We don't know when, but we have to have hope. I remember talking about listen to you, a friend of mine. Well, we used to be classmates in school. I went to a school similar to Southridge, and this guy, he's called Carlos Enrique. He was very a terrible guy. Well, I don't want to judge him, but and he called me last year. We usually we write each other for greetings on holidays, Christmas, happy birthdays, and that's all. But he wrote me because, well, he just turned 40. I am in that situation, the middle of life. and, and he told me, well, Esteban, I am, I had 3 children, a great wife, great family. I work in a great place, a bank, a great position. I earn a lot of money, but I think that I need something more. And I remember what I learned in school hmm, about Christian life, religion, um, and I want to reset. I want to make a new a restart or in my life, and well, that's the idea of the call, and little by little, um, and I think, well, maybe for many years he, well, I don't think that he uh, lose faith, but in fact, he, but something remained in his heart. So we have to education is like sowing. So we have to be patient, and maybe the fruit will arrive years. We have to. That's part of our of our virtue, I think so, as educators, to be patient, but everything, in Woodrose, we went to this morning, and there was a teacher explaining the mass with the chalice, the altar table, and and there were these little younger students. Well, just listening to this little by little, well, something remains. So we have to I think, of course, praying for them, and maybe at, we don't see the fruits right now, but we have to wait. We have to wait. And that's beautiful. And also, it's beautiful and also difficult at the same time, because patience is not an easy virtue. Hope. I I worked as a teacher for 10 years before going to Rome. And I remember the director. Well, I studied industrial engineering, so for me, teaching was not in my horizon. But well, he asked me, "Hey, Esteban, do you want to join us as a part-time?" And well, I said, "Let's try." And well, at the beginning, it was not it wasn't easy. Little by little, I think that we have all the little by little learning how to teach. But he told me one thing that I remember, and I appreciate that. We are forming people. We are working with souls. And it helped me because, of course, as a manager, I could work in a industrial place, or I don't know, making machines or something like that. It's important, of course. We need machines, we need buildings, but we are working with people, and and I think that the educator is one of the most important um, professions on the world. I think so. And also, I work with Don Luis Romera. I don't know if you know him. He's, well, he's my boss, and he's, of course, he has been director of the Università PUS, the Pontifical University of the Holy Cross. And we are working as well in the office, thinking how to promote or how to elevate the dignity, if it is called, of the professors, especially professors of religion. mm? Because if we are talking that religion is talking about the sense of your life, your vocation, why you are here in the world, because, well, and maybe in our countries, I think that, well, I don't know exactly the situation here in Philippines. Maybe the religious teacher is not well seen. I don't know, well seen. So elevate, but it starts with our yes, understanding what we are doing, and the impact in family, in first of all in that person, and then in the family, and then society. Okay.
I'm sorry, Father, I am also from Cebu. If you here to go to Cebu is just to take a plane like 20 minutes. If you were in a continent, it's like traveling 1 hour. If I invite you to go inland, you could easily go. So don't worry about the plane. It's just 20 minutes. Anyway, I want to talk to you about what I consider that are the most important persons in PAREF. That is the alumni. Some years ago, I think nobody's present, but then I remember the mother of the Villegas, that you know who are the Villegas. She was in her 80s, and I saw her with her uniform of her school going to the meeting. So in the Philippines, we have a tradition, especially Catholic schools, that people go to their schools for years and years, sometimes for reasons because they have benefits, sometimes they have. Recently in Cebu, there was one meeting of the alumni, and they raffle a car in the guy just to see. Imagine how well attended that meeting of alumni was. So while others use other means to maintain the students, I think that we have to do something also. We have tried many things. I know that there are many things that we have done, but we have to do much more. We have to stop and think what to do, because all what we are doing is for the alumni. These kids are with us only 12 years at the most, but they are alumni 45 or 60 years. So we need to think on them what to do, even if they will come back when they are only 40. Because they say that the alumni at first they go to get their partners, etc., the children. But when they begin to be 40 or 50, that's the time that they begin to long for the. So never mind when we get them, but that we get them. Because if there was a great investment and they have a lot, and if they have received a lot, they have to render accounts for what they have. So I think that this is a very good forum. I have been thinking about it for several months, and to have this opportunity, that's why I came just to say this, because this is the best place. This is the best place to say it. Thank you, Father. I,
Hello, Father. Let me stand here. I think people from afar might not see me. My name is Teddy. I have come from Kenya. I'm a Ugandan. On behalf of Kianda School, I'm here with Jane. I think we are the only black ones here, Africans. Yeah. So thank you. I just wanted to share one story and also ask a question. Looking at the impact of the schools we have, yeah, small things and all that. Recently, there was a session by a team from BICAM from Spain who went to Kenya. They went to Strathmore School and they invited many schools. Many schools went, Kianda School sent a big team. And it's impressive because after that, one of the parents commented that there was a very good story, which they told our Vika, and the Vika shared it with us. I think Jane doesn't know it as well. Yeah, but I found it very interesting. So the Vika told us there was this family, a mother and a daughter who are working. They are not Catholics. I think most of us know here, as our schools try to bring in as many people who are non-Catholics and Christians, and yeah. So this mostly they are Goans, and they have their own way, the beliefs they have. So the little daughter uh, was with the mother. They were working in one of the areas that is not very humble families live there, but the bishop has a home around there. Yeah. So as they were passing by, the little daughter saw the priest. Yeah, bishop wearing the cassocks and all this. So she told the mama, "Mommy, let's go and greet the priest." So the mother is like, "The priests, we're not even Catholics," you know. But then she insisted, "No, let's go." So pulling the mother. So they went in, and the bishop welcomed them and greeted them. "So how are you? Where are you going?" "We are going home." And okay, so they're like, "Can I invite you for a cup of tea?" You're like, "Yes, of course." "Mommy, let's go." They went in. So when they go in, they bring the things. The bishop is asking them, "So how is life?" and all that. So as they were about to have the something to eat, the kids say, "Let us pray. Let us thank God for the food." So in the name of the Father, the mother's like, "Oh, my daughter," they're not Catholics. So she prayed, and then they continued the conversation. After eating, they were taking away the things. "Can we give thanks?" When the kid again was praying, then the mother said, "Now we have to go. Thank you very much." Because we are going, "Mommy, we need a blessing for the." So the bishop was like, "Okay, I'll give you a blessing." So the young kid went down and knelt down, and then so the bishop was so moved, and later asked, "Where does this child go to school?" "Kenda school." So the bishop was so the bishop was so pleased with that. Yeah. So I thought it's a good story to tell on the little things, the efforts that the teachers put in. It's all worthwhile. It's all worthwhile. Yeah. So maybe a comment or something I wanted to ask. There is the question of freedom and religious teaching religion. You mentioned the fact of a need to elevate the ones teaching a religion in schools. And I thought, okay, right now, maybe many people think in Africa, it's very easy, right? Everyone loves religion, everyone loves God. Yeah, well, this wave that is in Europe is also coming down there, and we feel it. So sometimes the freedom to talk about religion freely is not as free as it looks. Yeah, and it may not be said in words, but also I'm just wondering how we could integrate this in our schools, because more and more you see parents who are, maybe they've just temporarily lost their, faith in God, or they are not practicing as such. And then in school, you're trying to do all the teaching, the beliefs, and then there's an aspect of freedom that is sometimes pushed by the laws. Speaking about all these LGBTQ issues that just crop in, and then the pressures are quite intense. Yeah, so I don't know whether you have anything to comment on that. Thank you.
Well, thank you for your anecdote. I think, well, our father, San Jose Maria, speaking about the gospel, the compelling trare, is you know that he explained that like this mission to 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 help others to the encounter, he explained this compelle is not an obligation, but an abundance of light. Mm? We can add abundance of kindness, of joy. Um, of course, we know that it is needed freedom to receive faith and to study. We, of course, we don't have to um, create obligations around the mass participation, etc. But little by little, if they see all the teachers and the staff smiling, as I saw in Woodrose with this message, um, kindness is infectious. I think so. Well, little by little, the children, they will ask themselves, what is behind this? That's the way our father explained us, to be very respectful with freedom, and at the same time, and I think that's the way Jesus um, called people. Most of the people, I think, were moved because of his smile, the way he uh, treated the kids, the children, the way he called the people. And that's, I think so, how we have to urge, if we can say, the others. Of course, the situation changes. Different countries have different sensibility about this. But little by little, especially with this abundance of light, because at the end, God is light. So if we spread this light as a mirror, we are mirrors of those light. Well, at the end, we will like sharing God's light. And it's amazing how listening to you from Kenya, Cebu. Well, I think that we have to be grateful with God. So many all good things happening around the world. It's amazing. Last year, I went to Chile in November. We had like an encounter like this. It, not like this, because it was a different type of encounter. Women have another in Colombia, but all the vibes were the same. I'm grateful with God. Maybe sometimes we see all like the negatives and the challenges but too many things and great things have happened, and still. So and we are like seeders of the seed of the word, the little by little. If someone want to add another idea to answer the question. But I would think that little by little, abundance of light. And when the students ask, well, we can take an advantage of this and explain the gospel, also reaching the fathers, because the students should have the same atmosphere in their houses. So in order to like to grow in faith like gradually also in their homes.
Father, I'm Delia Udani. I work in Rose Hill. I know you will not have time to visit Rose Hill, but the next a motivation for you to go there is to visit the first international shrine in the Philippines, the Antipolo Cathedral. So in your next visit, please make sure to visit the North Cluster. Yeah, relic of Don Alvarez there. Father, you're a prefect of studies, and I suppose you've studied many times over how to come up with a curriculum, especially in terms of character education, that really transforms behavior. Because that's what we're after, to transform behavior through our personal formation program. We have it, it's fully developed for all the PAREF schools. In your years of study of a kind of curriculum that really changes behavior, can you tell us what you have realized or what insights you've gained to come up with that kind of learning continuum?
Well, that question, I think that is for the experts of character formation. And they are in another place right now, Juan Pablo. And no, of course, character formation is part of the, we could say, identity of a school that illuminates in the opposites charisma or spirit. But it's part of the, well, it's for the experts. I will say that where there is no just one kind of method of character, um, because there are a lot of types and kinds of different approaches. But at the end, we have to, well, I think that the method must like abort all, must be like integral, heart, intelligence, and also the will, little by little. And also, well, for example, and a best practice that I heard in Chile was they are like people from the universities, for example, from Colombia, Universidad de La Sabana, especially from Colombia, there is an institution that helps school in character formation. I think that for a school having someone like a partner, it's important because, well, teachers are usually like focused on their work, and that's important. And having someone from the outside, like an outsourcing, that can help you to remember the important things. For example, these people from Spain, they are called well, I forgot the institution, be Juan Pablo, and that's good. I think that my suggestion will be have a partner. Because, well, we all need someone. An important thing is the formation of the affective, we'll say, and also all the sexual formation. It is, and also the psychological formation, psychological health. I was like, well, a little bit far from for the educational world in the past years. And little by little, when I reconnect with the educational world, I realized that it has like increased the, well, the importance of this. So having like also a plan for to address these topics is important. But I don't have like an answer, a technical answer, because the the main responsibility of us, I can talk as an Opus Dei promoter, is to vivification, let's call that revitalization of the schools, inspiring Christianity. That's our task. As Opus Dei directors could say. If Opus Dei as an institution start like giving a line of character, it will not be a right position. It is clear. So we can, for example, we can suggest schools to have partners to think about it, but the schools and the board has like the responsibility and the duty to do or to think how to. Okay.
Good afternoon, Father. I'm Benji. I'm also from the Antipolo area of the North Cluster. I'm with Northfield School. This is my second round as a school administrator. I think the different thing about the second round is that I'm getting more stressed. I was so excited about this get together that I slept at around 2 o'clock this morning, couldn't sleep, and my dreams were filled with discussing the 13th month pay with somebody and the fact that I discovered a nail in the kneeler of the chapel of the pew, stuff like that. So it was getting into my dreams, so it's already inhabiting my waking hours and my dreams already. I think I know some of the answers, but I'd like you to tell us about taking care of ourselves and the things that we need to do throughout the day, because I feel like I play tennis. I used to play tennis, and I feel like I'm a singles player, but there are 3 people playing against me. And so it's like that. So with the many things to do, with the many concerns, can you tell us how to take care of ourselves about this along this line, Father? Thank you.
I will answer with a word of the father, because talking with someone in Villa Tevere, the center, well, the headquarters, and he asked the father, he really has a lot of work, too many things to do. And once he asked the father, and he received a new charge, and he asked the father, well, I have to do this and also that, and I have to go that. Can you suggest me something? And the father said, well, I suggest you order, virtue of order, and that's it. No, of course, we have to face many things. We have different challenges, work, school, and also it's important to play tennis. And well, how we can manage time and how we can manage the second, third, fourth round? Well, with order, it's important. Well, maybe it's a simple answer, but I think it's a very important answer to manage time. And especially in school, you have too many works, and I think a school has also like bombs. When a student uh, gets sick and you have to take to the hospital. I remember the first time I broke my bone. Was in the school, high school. No, I had 9 years. I was 9 years old, and well, it was in a school, and the director of the school, he stopped his work and he took me to the hospital. Well, and I think, of course, that he didn't know that I was going to. So he was open to also to random situations. It's not easy because we want like a regular work and duties that we are. But it's part. The school is working with people, and people are the most important thing. So taking care of them. Related, for example, to Opus Dei, I remember a meditation of the father last year, he said, taking care of Opus Dei is taking care of people, because Opus Dei is people. So it's the same for school. Southridge or Woodrow's, well, each school are the students and the people and the staff, so taking care of them. Well, I moved in a branch, but that's the idea. Okay.
Uh, I mean, I just want to pick up from that idea and ask the father, of course, something that maybe, well, I can say a little bit controversial uh, in our PAREF schools. So, uh, Father, we have 8, well, I would say big schools. So like Southridge and Woodrose, and of course Cebu, Southcrest. We have Springdale, and Iloilo, we have Westbridge and Ridgefield. So these are, and then we have 9 preschools. So these are the kindergarten schools. No, but you know, Father, I think that all of us know it, that the largest contribution to the apostolate in the work actually come from the PAREF schools. I mean, and I think that all the schools are doing a great job, because we get a lot of vocations coming from the schools, whether they're from the parents, the students, or even the teachers. But Father, and I kind of share the sentiment of Benji, who just talked, why he has so many problems. And okay, so we have what we call more mature schools, like Woodrose and Southridge. You know, these are quite mature. They have good population. They have good students. They have good financial standing, etc. Whereas you have many also new schools, because we want to grow the number of PAREF schools, because obviously the more PAREF schools, the more vocations. Whether it is to grow them bigger where they are, or add more. So you can actually, we're actually putting up more preschools, because everything starts with the preschool. But sometimes I feel like I'm like the father of many children. so, so I have to find a good way to teach the older brothers to really help their younger siblings, you know, because they're actually struggling. I mean, a new school with new students and a new set of faculty, and maybe fewer people of the work that are participating, is much more challenging to get started. And so we actually, well, at least from my perspective, we need these mature schools to be able to reach out and really help all of these schools developing. I call them developing schools, because of the challenges that they have. That's why he can't sleep. No? but no, and don't get me wrong, they are no, but I think it should go a little bit deeper, that this feeling of being one family is very important to me, that we act, we think, and we care for one another like we are really one family, which we are. No, and but it has to be a little bit deeper, because well, of course, everybody's involved in their day-to-day life, and everybody has their day-to-day problems. So each school tends to focus on its own need, which is good because every school has challenges. But to also look beyond and to see the recognition of, you know, oh, I actually have this sort of obligation, if you will, uh, to help those in need, because to me, charity begins at home. You know, I mean, it actually, if we as a community of PAREF schools really want to prove to the other schools, the La Salles, Ateneos, the San Bedas, etc., that look, here's one school that's really one. You know, I think that's the spirit that that I just wanted to share. I mean, I don't know whether this is being controversial because everybody's from different schools here, but all these schools have contributed tremendously. They work very hard. I mean, Father, I work in other businesses as well, but I see that teachers work harder than I would say other professions because it's probably tougher. But to see a bigger picture and to see each one as really a brother, a sister, and we're one spirit, all trying to push this cart, in the same direction. I just wanted to maybe share that, but I also want to get your thoughts on that, Father.
Well, first of all, I think that well, there are many ideas. Um, this idea of unity, I think, well, is worthwhile and at different levels. Because, well, for example, one first level would be, of course, in each school, work together, and then the family, the board or the institution, the entity, PAREF. And yes, we have been receiving experiences about how important is to, for example, work as a team at the second level, because the first level is intuitive. You have to work with your co-workers very close. But for example, in some places, I don't know here the situation in Philippines, girls' schools and boys' schools, maybe they have like everything, all the, and we have been seeing how, for example, share some services, present to the families like the same project. That in order they can, as a family, have like one experience, educational experience. And also sharing services is important because for them, well, for the PAREF also can reduce the cost or something. Well, so I don't have like an answer very concrete, but thinking about how to work together, I think it is a great opportunity. And also another level will be relations with others. For example, well, here we are building bridges. So learning from others, people from Australia, from Kenya. And for example, in the encounter I talked about in Chile, they were amazed how sharing the same challenges and learning, for example, how in Argentina they created a project that fit perfectly to one challenge that in Chile they didn't know how to face. And well, it make some kind of network will be interesting to learn from the others and to give experience. I think that unity at these three levels, it will be, and the other thing that we are seeing is because of the we are seeing like the founders and all the great people that had yes started the school, I don't know, many years ago, for example, in the 60s, 70s. We are seeing that now we are seeing like a change of generation. Hmm? And we are facing a situation that, well, I know, well, that we have less people working, less people from the work working. So that's something that we have to face. So it's a great challenge, but it like calls the directors to, especially the boards of directors, to take care a lot of the formation of teachers, and especially the future directors. We have to think maybe a little bit more about the next generation and to form properly. Maybe in the past years, directors or Opus Dei, I don't know how, had the opportunity to directly form all teachers. Maybe it's not easy right now because so going to the people, but each country has different situation, different challenges. But I think here in Philippines, maybe this is happening. I don't know, like I don't know how to say in English, relevo, the passing, yes, which is beautiful because it's a great opportunity to renew things and to, well, but unity, of course, is important. Working together as a family. Yeah?
Thank you, Father. Oh, sorry.
We've heard a lot from the women, so I guess it's our turn also to say something after Benji. Well, I also come from Cebu. I'm not really Cebuano, but I must say after 4 years, I'm already a Cebuano. Yeah, I'm so happy to say that. And in Springdale, I've been there for the past 4 years. I've learned so much from the piety of the Cebuanos. The first thing I learned was to wave to the Santo Niño. When you go before the Santo Niño in the Basilica, you wave to him. It's a way of calling the attention of a child, right? It's so nice to learn this. And that made me realize that we all teach religion. It's really a challenge for us to teach religion. I thought that we have to bring down the level. Of course, we've been talking about raising the level and all that. We've been doing that very, very well, but I realized that we have to make it more practical. Following the example of the Cebuanos who waved to the Santo Niño. So we started this year the dancing of the Sinulog, because during the week of the Sinulog festival, which is to celebrate the Santo Niño, the Cebuanos have the custom of dancing the Sinulog dance, following the flow of the river. So the movement is, I will not do it now, but everybody does it there, even the bishops and the priests. So I had my own experience 2 years ago. One step forward and another step backward, something like that. 2 steps forward, I think, and 1 step back. There's no Santo Niño, so I cannot do it. And what I want to say and share now is that after learning that from the Cebuanos, I thought of doing something in school to make the faith more practical. And the first thing that came to mind was when the former chaplain, the previous one, Father Jerry Quijada, gave me the image of the sleeping Saint Joseph, made popular by Pope Francis. And he told me, you keep this, I don't know what to do with it. And I thought maybe we can use sleeping Saint Joseph. So I placed it at a corner outside the chapel. I placed it on a nice table. I went to the market to buy a box with a little hole on top. I place a tray with papers and pen. And I explain to the boys in every mass I celebrate, the sleeping St. Joseph is out there. And Pope Francis taught us, you can ask him anything you want. You write down anything you want. And I tell you, every day there are lines of boys who go there. And one time I was passing by, there was a boy who was a bit pensive, could not write what he wanted to put down. And he looked up to me and told me, Father, how do you spell Lamborghini? So I had to spell it to him. And I got curious. Every afternoon, I opened a box full of paper and I use it for my prayer because so moving, aside from the Lamborghini or the Robux or this toy or getting a high grade in the QA quarterly assessment exams. They also ask for St. Joseph, please bring back my father. I suppose the father left them. Or St. Joseph, please cure my aunt who has cancer. So it's so moving to see how the piety of the boys has grown with this little devotion to the sleeping St. Joseph. So from there, I thought, what else can we do? And just recently, we had our Eucharistic procession last week. And we hang tapestries on the railings of the school. Beautiful ones, just like what you see in Spain. In velvet. And you see there the text of Adorote Devote and some Eucharistic symbols like the ictus, the fish. You have the Lamb of God. You have the Sacred Heart and many other Eucharistic symbols. And Archbishop Palma presided the procession for the second time. We had him last year, the first time the Archbishop came to a PAREF school. Well, there's also another PAREF school. So he's waiting for your invitation. And he was so happy to see everything there, the floral carpet. And for the second time, he said, this is the most beautiful procession I've ever attended in my life. And after the event, I asked the boys in Mass. Normally, I ask questions in Mass during the homily. It's a question and answer, and they really look forward because they know that there'll be a prize for the right answer. They get a free candy from the canteen. And I asked them, so why did you prepare the floral carpet? And the first one who raised his hand said, well, for the bishop. But the second one, because I said, no, that's wrong. And the second one said, for Christ. And so he got it. So the only thing I wanted to say here is that I think in teaching religion, let's not forget the practical side of it. And another thing in all these years as a PAREF chaplain, I already have been chaplain for 17 years in several schools. What really moves me is when the alumni come back for confession. And I don't know them. They were there before I came, but then they come with all naturalness and say, Father, can I go to confession? And really, there are a lot of them who just drop by casually and go to confession. So I think every time some religion teachers come to me and complain, how come it seems that the the boys don't learn anything from us. Uh, they're so naughty and all that. And I tell them about the alumni. That they come back, nothing is wasted. They always uh, learn something, and later on, as you have mentioned, it will grow. The seed that has been planted will grow. So I just wanted to mention that. Yes, and thank you for allowing me to celebrate with you.
Thank you. Father, I won't stand up because people won't be able to see behind me. Look, first of all, so my name's Matt I'm from Redfield College in Sydney, but in a previous life, I was actually born and raised in New Zealand, and that's where I actually met the work. It's I know in Australia we say down under, but actually I think New Zealand's actually even further down under. So, and the little brother of Australia. So in terms of unity, I know what you're talking about. So I've got a bit of a story about that, but also a question for you. But when the father came and visited Australia and New Zealand in 2023, en route to Australia, he went down to New Zealand and he spent time with a supernumerary down there, Jessica Van Leeuwen. Jessica was God rest her soul, the mother of 6 children, and she had a brain tumour and died within a year. But God gave her the great grace of being able to meet the father when he came down. Some very moving stories that obviously the father probably already knows, but you can pass them on to him. But at her funeral, the priest who concelebrated, who was a parish priest, talked about, and very emotionally talked about his humility, or seeing her humility as he took her communion every day, and as she got out of her sick bed to receive our Lord on her knees, and that made him reflect on his own vocation to the priesthood. Anyway, part of that, I'm sure, is the reason why New Zealand now has finally been able to establish, as the most recent country in the world to establish PAREF New Zealand. So schools eventually will never be in New Zealand. And it would be great to pass on to the father, having met Jessica, that I'm sure it was part of Jessica's own suffering and offering those sufferings for that school, that New Zealand is in the fortunate position of being able to have established themselves. And not only that, being in the application process down there at the moment for receiving funding for establishing a school. So in a very strong position. Such, having been born and raised in New Zealand and never attending a school, the idea of a school never even seemed possible down there. So I think passing on to the father, Jessica's suffering and offering that up. And I suppose it leads me to my question, but her husband is not Catholic. And he spoke about at her funeral about that he was assured of her place in heaven. And now he's left raising 6 children in the faith, and he's not Catholic. Our schools in Australia face interesting times as we get, because we do very well academically, and obviously in terms of character and virtues, we do very well. We are attracting a large number of non-Catholics, and obviously being open to all, like our father would say, we're interested in 100 souls. There's a certain amount of non-Catholic students that enter the college. We run an apologetics club once a month, and it was very enlightening to see a number of our Muslim students attend and ask very intelligent questions and be involved in a very charitable, open discussion about Islam and the church and things like this. What's your advice to us in having non-Catholics, non-Catholic families, non-Catholic students, and that potentially increasing in a country that is becoming less and less, unfortunately, Christian at the best of times? What is the best approach from us, keeping obviously we make it very clear to these families that our religion classes are compulsory, we do all these, and they still want our school. How do we ensure, how do we continue to bring those people to have an encounter with Christ? How do we help them ultimately God willing, in his space and in his time. But how do we help those people have an encounter with Christ, I suppose, in a sense?
But one question first. Do you explain to a new family all the identity of your school, and also you explain that it's a Catholic school in the sense that Catholic, okay, of course they are they are open to this. Okay, no, well, I will say, I was saying, abundance of light, encounter with Christ, especially through sacraments. Please remember me an anecdote. I have a friend of mine. He lives in Germany, in Göttingen, which is not a Catholic place in Germany. He has a friend. She is she used to study medicine. In Germany, they have, and she wasn't Catholic. They have initiative called fever night, so night fever every Thursday, or once a month. They have the Eucharistic prayer, and then they go to the streets to. And my friend invited her to join this prayer, and she wasn't Catholic, and she was shocked by the presence of the Eucharist. She didn't. Well, I know I haven't met her, but she explained. My friend, he's called Agustin, that she was shocked by someone. For us, maybe this is not, but she decided to little by little, knowing increase his information about Catholic, and she decided to enter to the for being a Carmelitan is called. Yes, and he moved to Austria, and it began with an encounter with Christ. And I think it's important. Tomorrow I'm going to make a reference about this, because for another hand, I have it's not a positive anecdote, but I have also, he used to be a student in these schools. He's Catholic, but not too much, as he doesn't practice any, and he loves yoga, mindfulness, which is important. We can find, it's important to find peace, and I don't want to make a debate on this. But for me I question myself, what else we as a school could do more in order to, for example, at Mass, not just seeing Mass as a ritual, things that the priests do. And we have to penetrate in the mystery behind this. And my Don Luis Romera, I work with him, he is studying himself about all the spiritual dimension and all the, it's very, very important, for example, to teach the students to pray. In Mexico, there is a school, I forgot the name, they have an initiative called, a project called iPrayer. And they start all the classes in classes, not in the chapel. Sometimes they move to the chapel with 5 minutes in silence. And the students, maybe some of them don't pray, but they just think, but they must remain in silence. But the idea is to help them to pray. And at the end is putting themselves in touch with God through sacraments, through prayers. Also, it's a good experience, as the father said, to have practical classes, for example, explain Mass, by a practical way. And to reach fathers, for example, I think that take advantage of the steps that kids do, for example, for the first communion. It is a great opportunity to get closer parents to the school, and especially to sacraments. Confirmation, for example, confirmation is called. So take advantage of this. Sometimes, for example, Sunday Mass with families. Well, there are different ways, different opportunities to facilitate the encounter. Yes, I think that you have like a great opportunity because you have, as you said, like the academic level, great teachers. Well, increase and also, well, I'm going to talk to this about in tomorrow, but a Christian inspired according to the spirit of Opus Dei. We don't have to see like the spiritual dimension just like circumscribed said in the chapel or religion classes. The Christian inspiration is everywhere, every time. So thinking about this, how all the teachers facilitate them also the encounter with Christ will at the end reach the students. So maybe the answer is is not concrete because I think that there are many possibilities. Just if you teachers or board of directors think about this, I think that you will find a lot of great ideas how to increase the encounter with Christ. Okay, and I will pray for you, Anna, for you, and for you all.
Okay, we have time for one last question from Iloilo. All right.
Good afternoon, Father. I'm Dennis. I'm from Iloilo. So I'm going to share an anecdote first before I ask the question. I have two kids and they were born in Prague, Czech Republic. And I brought them home 2 years ago because they started asking me when should I get another wife and when should they have step brothers and step sisters. So I told my wife, let's book a ticket and bring them home. But I'll connect it with the means of information that the school is giving. Now, they don't question it anymore. They understood the family. And before they would tell me, why should we go to mass? He's in grade 2 that time. So why should we go to mass? My classmates, they don't go to mass, but they're happy. they they enjoy life. But now it has changed. So every time they pray at night, they would say they would want to pray for the conversion of sinners and etc. But connecting it to the formation of the school, so it is because of the good examples given by the members of the work in the school. But my question is, there are a lot of teachers or people in the school that they have to look up to, not just the members of the work. So for the past years, a lot of teachers are going to the means of formation, but now it seems like it's getting less and less, at least in my school. And how do we, could you give us some practical tips? Maybe, I don't know if we call it fresh ones that we can do to really encourage the teachers to embrace the means of formation, because with their examples, it will create a ripple and will encourage all the students to embrace also the means of formation that the school is giving. That's all, Father.
Well, I don't know if you have you read the letter number 5 of the Father. If you haven't, I suggest to read this letter. It's called Euntes Ergo, which is go and teach. It's a very beautiful letter, addresses to educators. Tomorrow I'm going to quote San Jose Maria of this letter, and he talked about this in this letter, and well, there are many different answers. I think that, as we know, the first will be friendship. Little by little, I have seen this in the school, teachers helping others through friendship to well, help people to get closer to God. And well, little by little, friendship, also the example, virtue, but especially friendship. Okay, that will be my answer. I remember my director of the school. He was a very, very kind person, and many people have like received the encounter or have like with God through him, through his friendship. He was the one who took me to the hospital. Yes, he was amazing. Always smiling, um, kind, very, very close to people. And I think at the end, that's the way. Well, and prayer, of course. It's the most important thing also.
I'm squeezing, and I know you said it was the last question, but I'll just squeeze in. I'm James Ramos. I'm from Sydney, and maybe this is an impossible question, and there is no answer, but it's something that I think a lot about, and maybe it's many small answers rather than one answer. You spoke earlier about those generational changes in our various organizations. Many of us, I think, are probably in the second generation. And one of the things that is might be most pressing in the work that we do is as an organization gets larger, gets bigger, there is a greater need for professionalism, systems, processes in place. When a school is very small, you just started, the headmaster is also driving the bus, but the organization gets bigger. There's taking students to hospital, but as the organization gets bigger, there is more need for those systems and processes. And as an organization that is also trying to stamp the spirit of the work, then sanctifying our work and doing things as perfectly as possible is very important. And I have been trying to put this into practice for a long time. And now I'm beginning to think some of our older brothers and sisters did some crazy things. Don Alvaro and our father are building Villa Tevere with no money. They didn't have a financial plan. They didn't have a 5-year, 10-year repayment. They just did it. And many of those of our older brothers and sisters in our organizations, in the first generation, they had incredible faith and incredible daring and did some crazy things. And it's amazing that they didn't end up in jail, some of them. But they had faith, they had trust in God, and things worked out. How do we balance professionalism, larger now organizations where we want to do things very well, and not lose some of the craziness, not lose some of the daring?
It's a tough question, and I really don't have the right answer. But, well, you know that we are preparing the Congress. A couple of weeks, we will have the Congress, which is a special one because, well, we are preparing also our first century of Opus Dei. And it's special because last year there were a lot of worships, well, the assemblies, the regional assemblies all over the world. And we received in Rome, well, too many ideas, each region sent to Rome a document, well, and at the end, the final document, it's very, very large. We have been working with the advisory together to prepare a document to the people participating in the Congress. And listening to you, I remember some of the ideas because the ideas that are in the conclusions of the, because we'll feel the well, of course, our father Don Alvaro, they were like giants, had a lot of faith in God, that the work is from God. So, and it's the same faith that we see in the Father. As I was telling you that. And we are facing different challenges. Our world is different. It's amazing all the situations that we face worldwide. So the answer, I don't have the answer, but I think that we have to keep both things. The work has increased has become larger. As you said, we are at organizational level, not about Opus Dei, but about the initiatives of the projects. We are facing the task to improve the professionalism and to do things better. And at the same time, but it's not an opposition. Do things better is part of our identity. I think that it's related. In fact, at level school or a school educational, our product, we have the experiences, a great product, but it's a very different product. You can see all over the world different kind of schools, and this is beautiful because too many projects all over the world, supernumeraries in a place far from a center, and they begin a school and they want to Opus Dei to help them, but there is no possibility. But they put an image of our Father and they learn the students how to. Well, the Opus Dei reaches every day, a lot of places like this. So I think that we have to ask faith. You ask, well, faith is a virtue that comes from God. So ask faith and hope, which is very related to faith. And I don't know, I was thinking how would the Father will answer this question. But I think because the Father, first of all, he will answer in fewer words than me. Because the Father goes to the essential, and the essential will be pray and work hard, which is, well, like all the divine means or the prayers. And also we have learned that we have to work hard and work well. So that's why we are here to improve our formation, to help. And I think that it will be like the way, pray and sanctification of work. Work well. And that's it. Okay.
All right. So thank you very much, Father Esteban. I think you enlightened all of us with all your beautiful answers. And thank you to all those who shared their anecdotes, your beautiful stories. And we're praying for all the initiatives of all the schools all over the world, especially, of course, the PAREF schools. But before we end, maybe, since this is the Philippines, maybe request for a photo with you, Rodney. See here. Yeah, what we're going to do is we will just have you here, Father, together with our board of trustees. And then we will just ask someone to, Nino, can you take our photo? Okay. No, Father, you can sit down here together with Mr. Moran and right there. Nino here. Okay, let's see. We'll do a 0.5 from here. Or can some of you move here? Is it okay? There are some seats, so we can take it from here. Yeah, kaya naman. Other side, amen. Yeah. Okay, everyone, at the count of 3, smile. 1, 2.
One more. 1, 2.
Right. So thank you very much. And those of you who are attending the Building Bridges conference tomorrow, it starts at 7:30 a.m. with the mass at the Oratory of Southridge, and it's until March 1. So if you haven't registered yet, there's still time to register. You can just go down to our registration booth downstairs. So once again, thank you very much. Thank you very much, Father Esteban. Those who want to have their photo ops with Father can just come forward and do your selfie.